Hello YouTube, this is Chris from Team Innovate. I was just coming at you guys with basically my brainchild. I've been working on this like one deck for a little bit and it went through a lot of phases. It used to be mill heavy and stuff like that. Point being, the premise of this deck is that it's not Synchro summon, but at the same time it's not Junk Doppel. It's kind of a weird little variant, but at the same time it does work. And so yeah, I'm finally at a point where I think I can give you guys a build that I'm don't feel as inconsistent and things like that. So yeah, the first two monsters I want to show you guys are of course staple. Da's Effect Veiler. I mean, like, enough said. I mean, if you need Effect Veiler to be explained to you at this point in the game, it's just kind of bad for you. Spore. Of course, Glow Bulb. This deck does run the Plan Engine, and so like I mean, that's almost self-explanatory as well. Two Junk Synchrons. I told you it's not quite Junk Doppel, but I do love Junk Synchron. It's just like, I mean, there's lots of plays it can go to. I'll explain that later, but yeah. Debris Dragon, of course, run the Plan Engine, gotta tech it. Special to me, very special. Top Hat, Kane, Pocket Watch. He's the You Mad Bra Debris. And so when you rip that off the top, and people are like, wow, they're a little salty, that's what they got to look at. I tech one DD Crow because whether you're playing Dark Worlds, if you're playing Dark Worlds, controlling Graphas wins you game. And so if you can put Graphas out of the game for good, then, I mean, you just like boss mode up in here. So pretty much, DD Crow helps really well against the Dark Worlds matchup, just to have one in the deck already. Also, against anybody who uses Pot of Avarice, which is like lots of the rest of the meta, it's also pretty legit. And so, like, basically, DD Crow just comes in handy in so many places, so at this format, I think it's actually pretty good to tech it at one. Props out to a couple of my friends from Game Parlor who gave me that idea. The two Doppels. One of the things I like about this deck is that lots of the plant decks, or decks that use the plant engine, you don't have Dandelion, you don't have tokens. And that's what I'm trying to get around in this deck. I have Doppel Warriors, so I have one more way of making tokens. It also fuels my graveyard with darks, and so that's pretty legit as well. Two Maxis, staple, we all know this. Lone Fire, run the Plant Engine, might as well be staple. Sangan, self-explanatory. Dandy, two Thunder Kings. I really like Thunder Kings. I mean, it's almost staple. Some decks can't run it, but yeah, everybody knows what these things do. I tech one Kaiku because Kaiku, I believe, is excellent. Kaiku stops your opponent from using Spore, Chaos Sork, the Dark World Field card. Like, Chaos Sorcerer just poops on a lot of stuff in this format. Not to mention that whenever he does the battle damage, he is just like, I mean, he just screws up your opponent's graveyard. I mean, when you have like these two just chilling on the field, your opponent can't search, they can't remove from grave, and you can swing over one monster with Ryo and then swing over the other monster or swing directly or whatever with Kaiku. And basically, these two together just kind of poop on Dark Worlds. Like, you have these out in the field and you're just like, oh, and they just can't really do much about it. I tech one Kaius because Kaius is an out to things like Christia, Gaichi. Like, Kaius is just a boss in general, so, no. Of course, who run Gores? It's the Gores. You guys noticed my heavy dark count, so I've got the Dark Arm Dragon, BLS, of course, and Datrag. And so that's pretty much it for my monster lineup, and I'll tell you about some of my combos later on in the video. But then for my spells, I got the Pot of Avarice, the Rhoda, 1-for-1, of course. Lots of your staple. Foolish. I'll run one Econ. Lots of people are running two, but then again, I do not run Tengus, and because I don't run Tengus, Econ doesn't plus me as much as it does other people. So yeah, one Econ. Mind Control, Dark Hole, Double Misty. Lots of just staples. Heavy Storm, Scapegoat, Monster Reborn, and then last but not least, I just run a couple of traps. I mean, like Torrential, Solemn Judgment, Mind Crush, Trap Dust Shoot, and Call the Haunted. So, I mean, you guys, if you guys have played Junk Doppel and Plant Decks, I mean, like, well, Plant Decks are Junk Doppel runs the Plant Engine, but I mean, of course, you guys know all the silly plays that come from, I mean, these guys. I mean, just like, lately, it's, I mean, you just can't not know. Like, everybody knows what these things do together. I mean, these things can turn your field into Hyper Librarian and Formula Synchron, depending on what else you draw, just like, you know, random synchros. But also, I also have the other part that I like a lot about this deck, which is the I mean, the Junk Synchron and the Doppel. So I mean, it's like, of course, you guys already know the plays. I mean, you got the Dandelion on the field, and you summon the Lone Fire. Of course, you tribute the Dandelion. You get your 2 tokens, and then you can get Spore, or Global, actually. You know, Sync, Global, Lone Fire, Token, Hyper Librarian, Mill 1, go for Formula. You guys already know this place. I mean, that's pretty standard. But also, I mean, once I've already gotten, like, if I already have Spore, or Global, or maybe even have dropped Effect Veiler into the graveyard, I can also go Junk Synchron, special summon any level 1 tuner, special summon Doppel from the hand, and then go Hyper Librarian, make 2 tokens from Doppelware, then go Formula, and I have 1 token left over. So this deck has multiple ways to plus, and that's what I like about it. It's a deck all about plussing. Now there are some cards I'm considering putting in. Spirit Reaper I've been thinking really hard about. That's just kind of up in the air. But yeah, there's I could play Solemn Warnings, like I mean, I have access to Solemn Warnings, and no, not just because of the 10, but it's just the issue with that is I do like the Solemn Warnings. I ran it in like my other decks before him, but I just feel is that in this format, like, I'd rather just keep the life points. Like, I've got outs for monsters. It's just like, I just feel like the life point loss is pretty hefty. Like I said before, I don't run Tengus, and so I don't have that floater to save the crap out of me when people are swinging like mad multiple times. I guess going into the extra deck, got a Shooting Star Dragon, because I can go into Shooting Star a lot, and it's funny, and it's lolzy, and that's what else. Also, when I'm just going nuts with Hyper Librarian, and I get the Stardust on the field, it's like, why not? Let's go for an extra draw and just sync with the Formula and the Stardust for Shooting Star. Trishula, I mean, that's obvious. I play Mistworm because I can hit level 9s like a boss, and sometimes the Trishula, I don't always have the Bryonic to bounce Trishula back. Or I don't always have the Trishula back in the extra deck. And so, yeah, I mean, it's pretty crucial. But yeah, like, yeah, Mistworm also still does work. Stardust, of course. I got the Scrap Dragon, Scarp Dargon, Colossal Cockblock. I am looking for this ulti, so hit me up. Tell me your wants. Black Rose Dragon. Arcanite. Now, this Arcanite was more for when I still ran the Mill Engine. I had Lilas and Chaos Orcs. I can't exactly run this as well as I used to, so I'm probably going to take it out for a Tech Gen as Blade Gunner, because, or Blade Blaster, Gay America, because, I can hit him just as many times by going to Colossal Fighter or Scrap Dragon, then going with the Formula Synchron. Brio, staple. Catastor, staple. Librarian sees playtime in every game. Junk Synchron. Armory Arm, plus BLS's game. Formula Synchron. And then Leviair. Now, you guys do notice I also don't run tour guides, so the Leviair doesn't come out as consistently as the tour guide players. But on the other hand, when people do leave that Sangan out from the tour guide, I can really piss people off by, you know, summoning the Junk Synchron, bringing back something, and then jacking your Sangan for Leviair, and you don't get that crap back. So it's like, there's plenty of things that can be stupid with Leviair, but I have him in here just because of the fact that he's great utility. I do remove in this deck, and so, I mean, there's just plenty of things I can do with Leviair, and Mind Control and Econ make that all possible, and so does Strigoi. So yeah, that's pretty much the deck. I would like you guys to tell me your thoughts on it. I mean, no flaming, because nobody needs that, but at the same time, honestly, tell me what you think. You know, let me know any text or anything you'd put in, or like ask me to try, and I might have tried it before, I might not, so I'm just open to all suggestions. And yeah, that is pretty much it. Remember to rate, comment, subscribe, and I always mess up on that. Team Innovate, signing out.